It is 2025, and you know what my favorite hobby to do this year is? Burn my money. And I'm sure you like to burn your money too, right? Like on the weekends, you just grab a big bag of your hard earned money and set fire to it. Just kidding. I know we don't like to do that. And I know that you especially don't like to do that when it comes to your watercolor tools and equipment. That stuff is expensive. It's real expensive. And when eggs cost just as much as one tube of paint, like we can't make the wrong decision. The number one thing that I want to get across to you in this video is to stop wasting your money when it comes to cheap tools and equipment in watercolor painting because you're actually doing more harm than good. If we haven't yet met, my name is Rachel and I'm the owner and artist behind Mercy Creates, a watercolor business that creates paintings and products to help you create Christ-centered conversations in your home. I have a background in graphic design, drawing and painting, and marketing. So I not only like to make art, but I like to sell it too. And I want to help you make better art and sell it quicker. One of the core values of Mercy Creates is integrity. And I'm not going to recommend something to you that I wouldn't use for myself. And I'm not going to recommend something to you just because it's more of a budget type of idea. I know we're all trying to save money, but I'm going to give you options to make sure you know exactly what it is that you're buying. Or I'm going to give you options so you know what it is that you're buying, how it's going to help you, and what makes the most sense for your budget right now. And you're probably thinking, oh, great, she's going to refer me to all of these $25 and $30 and $40 brushes so she can make $4 in affiliate change. No, 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 no. Let's hold up a little bit. Sometimes those cheap brushes and those cheap papers do have a place in your toolbox for painting, but I want to give you a better understanding of when to use those cheaper, less expensive products so you're not wasting and spending more money. There are three areas that I want to cover that I want to hopefully help you stop wasting money on. Number one is brushes. Stop purchasing the less expensive bulk watercolor brush sets. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They come in a bag, they come in a big box. They look like this. You think you're going to be getting a great deal because you're getting all these different sizes and ooh, look, the bristles are different colors, which means they do different things, right? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Just put it back. Some of my best brushes and most used brushes are the ones that I did spend a little bit more money on. If you're going to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, they're going to order the tools and equipment by levels. Go for the level 3, but don't get 5 level 3 brushes. Get 1 level 3 and see how that works. Or if you're still starting out and you want to test it, get a level 2. Totally skip, bypass level 1, go straight for level 2, don't even look at it. My recommendation is to get 3 different types of brushes within the level 2 or level 3, but make sure that they are in different sizes. You'll see that the bristles are sized by like numbers, so it's 2, 4, 7, 6, 8, 12, 14. Grab a large one, like a 12 or 14, grab a medium one, like an 8, and then grab a smaller one, like a 4. If you have those 3 brushes, and even though it is going to be a little bit more expensive at the cash register, it's going to be such a huge investment for your paintings because you're going to see a difference in the application and how the water is on the paper. They'll become your go-to brushes. So when you have your size 12, you'll realize, oh, I don't need a 10 and 11 and 13 and 14. My 12 works just great. Whereas when you pick up, one of these smaller ones and you start painting with it, you're like, why is my water not really going on the paper right? Why is the color not going everywhere right? You're going to notice a huge difference when it comes to water and paint application. The less expensive brushes, they don't hold the water and the paint quite as long as the more expensive ones do. There's a difference within the bristle manufacturing, so even if you don't go towards the animal bristles like the squirrel and mohair and llama, or not llama, I'm not sure. I think I may have just made that one up. Don't quote me on that one. But squirrel is definitely one of them. The less expensive brushes, they just don't hold as much water as the more expensive ones do. Even if you get a synthetic type of bristle for a more expensive brush and not one of the animal hair ones, you're going to notice a huge difference. When you put your water and your paint down on your paper, The cheaper brush, it's not going to cover water in a straight line, if that makes sense. You're going to start to notice it curve in a little bit and just it's just kind of a weird phenomenon. I'm not sure how to quite explain it, but you're going to see that the water just isn't as smooth. It's not covering all of the paper, or where you're dragging your brush across. There's some of the water's over here and then some of it's over here, and then it's actually covering where you put it in, but it's just kind of weird. And that's what happens when you use the cheaper brushes. Whereas when you use the more expensive professional brushes, you're going to notice that the application is smoother and the water in the paint is covering exactly where you put your brush down on the paper. Who knew? You're going to have better control with your water and your paint application because of the more expensive brushes. And I say that loosely because one brush could be $12 or $8 or $7. And, it's just a wide spectrum of how the costs are, and depending on your area and what discounts and coupons you might have. But one $8 brush is going to always be a better investment than the $8 pack of 50 brushes, because your one brush is better quality and it's going to last you longer, and it's going to help you enjoy the painting process more. Now, the second area that I want to recommend to you to buy a little bit more expensive and invest in is your paper. Stop purchasing the level 1 90-pound paper or the mixed media paper. It is not the same. I promise you, it is not the same. Sometimes you're able to feel the actual texture and quality of the paper, and if you can do that, please do so next time you're at your art store, because you're going to notice a difference between one manufacturer's 90-pound or 140-pound paper and a Strathmore 140-pound and a Canson 140-pound and an Arches 140-pound. It's totally different. So that lightweight paper, that's probably the main reason why it's bending and buckling when you're adding water to it. There's just not much paper for the water to be absorbed with. Watercolor painting is all about painting with water. So if our paper isn't able to absorb and handle all of the water we're going to put onto it, it's going to freak out and be like, "What are you doing to me? Why are you waterboarding me?" So if you think that you're going to be using a lot of water and painting like a massive painting, like top to bottom, side to side color, get the more expensive paper, something within the 300 or 400-pound range. If you're doing something a little bit more illustrative and in smaller, lighter washes, a 140-pound is probably going to be best for you. In Watercolor Foundations, a course that I designed to help you further your understanding of the tools and techniques of watercolor painting, I talk a lot more about the paper weights and what subject matters you should use for which weight of paper. I help you like mix and match and figure out, how do I, which one should I choose? And I even show you the differences between the paint application and water application techniques from the 90-pound of one manufacturer to the 140-pound to the 300-pound. It's probably one of my favorite modules because this is the most misunderstood tool of watercolor painting. Choosing the right paper really sets you up for success and helps you enjoy the process. So I wanted to make sure that I spent a good module all on how to choose the right paper, because I'm all about wasting less and painting more and getting more out of your money. Remember, we are not trying to burn our money in the year of our Lord 2025. Now, the third area that I really want to encourage you to not skimp out on is on your watercolor paints. I'm not saying don't purchase or don't spend like $200 on one tube of paint. Like, don't get the mega massive size for, an arm and a leg. But please, please stop painting with those, weird little 8 tray sets with it already pre-filled in, and you just have to add water and you can use them at parties. And no, don't do it. Those tray sets are not made for artists. They're barely made for a kid's birthday party. Let's be real. They're full of fillers, and it's not good. It doesn't make a good painting, and it doesn't give you a good idea of how fun watercolor painting can be when you see all the colors mix and when you see it on the paper, travel and move. And that's just one of those fun things about watercolor painting. And you kind of lose it when you buy a small beginner set. I firmly believe that you don't need a lot of paints. You need just a few reliable colors, the base colors that you would see in the color wheel. And I think that's a really good place to start. And when you start mixing them, you're going to get new shades and you're going to see, wow, I actually have more colors than I realized. I have more videos on the channel of how I mix and matched and created new color palettes all out of 5 colors. So I think it's just one of those things where you can choose to spend a lot of money on your paints, or you can just get a few colors and play around with. Color swatching is just one of those easier and less expensive ways to get more out of what you've spent on. So if you can get 5 colors for maybe $40, maybe with that, 20% off Michael's coupon, then you're going to see that those 5 colors have given you 10, 15, 20, 25 new colors and new shades that you can use in your paintings. And having those new colors really sets you apart from other watercolor artists. You start to realize, oh, this is my color palette that I want to paint with. And people know you for that. And they're also going to say and start commenting and ask, how did you get that color? And you're going to say, oh, actually, I mixed a purple lake and sap green, and that's how I came to this color. Now, I totally get it. We all have to start somewhere. And like I said, I am an advocate for spending a little bit more money on the tools and equipment that you need for watercolor painting because it does give you a better return on your investment and helps you enjoy the process more. But sometimes those cheaper paints and papers and brushes, they do have a place in your toolkit. I have a pad of cheap paper on hand just so I can mix some colors and not use my really good expensive paper for, oh, I wonder what this color makes. Like don't don't use a whole sheet just for testing out colors. And I've repurposed some of those cheaper brushes for when I'm using gold leaf and the adhesive because after a while your brush gets kind of grody from all of that glue. So you need another brush. Why not use one of the cheap ones? Or if I want to try a different painting technique and I want to cut the bristles, I'll cut the bristles of my cheaper brush, not my expensive one, and see how does the paint look like on the paper with it. I just want you to enjoy watercolor painting, and you can't do that by only purchasing the budget friendly and the cheaper tools and equipment. It causes frustration, confusion. You spend more in the long run. I hope that you understand that yes, you can enjoy painting, and it does make more sense to spend a little bit more upfront so you have a better painting and a better process and a better time in the end. Down in the description below, I've got a free download with my favorite supplies that range in budget prices to the more adventurous and more expensive end to the medium end of yeah, I do enjoy this and I just want to learn and get better supplies to the I'm just starting out. I don't know where to begin. I don't know what to do and I don't know what makes cheap and what makes professional. Download that list below because it's really going to be a huge time saver and it's going to help you enjoy painting. I'm always up for trying something new. So if you have a favorite manufacturer for your brushes, paper, or your paints, let me know in the comments below. Some of my favorites are Da Vinci and Daniel Smith and Arches, but I'm willing to try someone new. I'm glad you joined me for this video and I hope it's encouraged you. I'll catch you in the next one.